See you next year. Appreciate it, yeah.
What if I told you the fate of hockey's next dynasty and Canada's 31-year Cup drought will come down to 8 razor-thin details most fans still haven't noticed? Welcome to Panthers Oilers 2, where legacy, location, and pure spite collide on June 4th in Edmonton's roaring Rogers Place. Quick heads up, these breakdowns swallow entire weekends and nights of research and editing. If you end up digging it, tossing a follow my way keeps the lights on and the coffee flowing. Back-to-back finals featuring the same 2 squads haven't happened once in the NHL's salary cap era. Florida wants to join the Penguins, 2016-17, as the only repeat champs of the last decade. Edmonton wants to end Canada's dry spell that started when dial-up internet was still a thing. In the regular season series, Florida swept both games, but each was a 1-goal grinder that felt like playoff dress rehearsal. Bigger than bragging rights, this is a showdown between Sunbelt swagger and Northern hockey heritage, sunshine versus snowbanks, dynasty versus desperation, and only one storyline survives. But the hype won't matter if one side's system smothers the other. Picture Florida's 1-2-2 forecheck as a constrictor. F1 pressures, F2 locks the wall, F3 floats high, and the D pinch until opponents cough up pucks like bad secrets. Under Paul Maurice, that blueprint generated the NHL's stingiest 2.11 goals against average this season. Edmonton's antidote is the jailbreak. The moment Evan Bouchard corrals the puck, a winger jets to the far blue line, forcing Panthers defenders to pivot and backtrack. Stretch passes explode Florida's layers and gift McDavid daylight in the neutral zone. Analysts highlighted those jailbreaks as the only moments Florida looked mortal last spring. Whichever pattern cracks first, the Panthers squeeze or the Oilers slingshot, and it will dictate who owns puck possession and which goalie gets shelled next. Speaking of goalies, Sergei Bobrovsky enters with a playoff save percentage north of .920 and an aura of calm that borders on smug. Stuart Skinner, his ceiling is a lights out .950, but the floor has cratered to sub .880. StatMuse pegs his career playoff average at .897. Bob's rebound control buys Florida clean exits. Skinner's occasional leaks invite chaos in Edmonton's slot. If the series turns into a goalie duel, advantage Panthers, unless Skinner seizes one of those weeks where he becomes Carey Price 2.0. But one awkward collision can rip up every game plan. Sasha Barkov absorbed a high hit in the Carolina series. Officially day-to-day, the captain insists he's fine, yet morning skates have been optional. Zach Hyman limped off with an ankle injury May 27th. AP now reports he's likely out for the remainder of the playoffs. Barkov's shutdown shadow on McDavid? Maybe. Marchand's nuclear pest routine on Edmonton's crease? Maybe not. Hyman's 40-goal gravel work in front of Bobrovsky? Looks lost. Those maybes loom larger every shift. Depth pieces now graduate to center stage. General Manager Bill Zito threw premium octane on an already combustible core. Seth Jones, nabbed for Spencer Knight and a first-rounder, supplies 25-minute puck moving and a 6'4" net front condo. Brad Marchand, once the Bruins bogeyman, brings cup pedigree and penalty drawing sorcery. If healthy, Edmonton's counterpunch is subtler. Adam Henrique slides beside McDavid, Ryan McLeod graduates to PP1 bumper, and rookie Dylan Holloway reemerges after the offer sheet fiasco to inject raw pace. Depth used to be Florida's exclusive club. This season, the roster depth charts look uncomfortably similar. Special teams will expose which new parts actually fit. Edmonton's power play is still a cheat code. Riding a 30.0% clip this postseason, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard whirl through a 1-3-1 so quickly that penalty killers often look like they're taking a driver's test in the left lane. Their 2 go-ahead goals in the Western Final both came on the man advantage, and 6 of Draisaitl's 12 playoff tallies have arrived from his off-wing one-timer office. Florida's antidote? The league's hottest penalty kill. Barkov, Lundell, and Ekblad headline a unit smothering 87.9% of shorthanded situations, anchored by Forsling's surgical stick checks and Bobrovsky's rebound vacuum glove. They challenge at the blue line, force dump-ins, and spring shorthanded rushes that already produced 2 game winners this spring. Flip the script and the math changes. The Panthers' own power play hums at an unspectacular 23.2% overall, but explodes to a jaw-dropping 42.9% on the road, where last change prevents opponents from hard-matching PK specialists. Edmonton's penalty kill, meanwhile, sits at 78.2%, 11th of 16 playoff teams, games, hemorrhaging slot looks whenever McLeod or Holloway takes Hyman's former bumper spot. Put bluntly, every whistle is a referendum on discipline. If the refs keep their pockets tight, Florida's rugged 5-on-5 style thrives. If they call it by the book, Edmonton's nuclear PP can win entire games in 4 total minutes. The first bench that solves its weaker special team, Edmonton shoring the PK, Florida juicing the home PP, could steal 2 victories before the other side blinks. The NHL has tapped veteran whistleblowers Wes McCauley, Chris Rooney, Francis Chiron, and Gene Hebert to police the rematch. On paper, that's balance. McCauley's theatrics offset Rooney's understated style. Chiron skews lenient, Hebert tighter. In practice, perception already leans combustible. After the Panthers clinched the East, Hurricanes coach Rod Brind'Amour barked about phantom calls, sparking a cycle of pundits re-examining every clip and fueling fan chatter that Florida gets the benefit of borderline hits. Meanwhile, a Times of India piece stoked conspiracy flames by suggesting league brass wanted an Oilers rematch to juice ratings north of the 49th. True or not, those suspicions put officials under a microscope so bright it might melt visor shields. On the ice, expect Florida to test boundaries early. Sam Bennett already boasts 38 credited hits, 9 of them leading directly to turnovers, while Matthew Tkachuk's office is the goalie's ear canal. Add, if healthy, Brad Marchand's stick work, perfected in Boston, and Edmonton's patience will be stretched like skate laces in July heat. The Oilers aren't saints either. Darnell Nurse averages 2.7 cross-checks per game by league tracking, and Corey Perry knows every gray area in the rulebook. A single retaliatory slash can flip momentum, but so can no call if emotions boil and whistles stay silent. Watch Game 1's first 10 minutes. A quick penalty parade signals a series tilted toward Edmonton's power play juggernaut. A let-em-play vibe hands Florida the street fight it craves. This isn't just a best of 7, it's a referendum on hockey mythology. Connor McDavid already owns 5 Art Ross trophies, 3 Hart MVPs, and enough highlight reels to crash servers, but critics whisper, no ring, no Rushmore. End the 31-year Canadian Cup famine, and he leapfrogs straight into the Gretzky-Crosby conversation, silencing every yeah but forever. Lose a second straight final, and the narrative mutates into Marino without a Super Bowl territory. Brutal, maybe unfair, yet inevitable in a sport obsessed with silver. Across the ice, the Florida Panthers chase immortality of another kind. Should they sip from Lord Stanley again, they'll join the 2016-17 Penguins as the Cap era's only repeat champs and the first Sunbelt team ever to author a 3-year finals run. Paul Maurice, once tagged as a good but not great bench boss, would tie Toe Blake for 4th most playoff wins all time and stamp Florida as a blueprint for Southern market dominance. For the NHL broadly, a Panthers victory cements the league's Sunbelt expansion as visionary. An Oilers triumph feeds decades of Northern romanticism that Canada remains hockey's beating heart. Sponsors salivate either way, but history doesn't do participation ribbons. Dynasties and drought busters are carved in stone, not social media posts. So when the handshake line forms, whether it's in Edmonton's neon chaos or Florida's humid roar, someone's racing toward immortality, someone's rewriting suffering, and someone else walks away haunted. That's the beauty and brutality of June hockey. Legacies crystallize in a single blocked shot or a seeing eye wrister, and the echoes will rattle for generations. So there you have it, 8 under the hood flashpoints ready to ignite the 2025 Stanley Cup Final. Will Edmonton's stretch steel outduel Florida's vice grip forecheck? Can Bob stay zen while Skinner rewrites his story? And whose legacy hangs heaviest over the handshake line? Drop your sneaky X factor, player, tactic, or off-ice twist is in the comments. Smash follow so you don't miss our game-by-game breakdowns, and we'll see you right after the opening puck drop. This war starts in hours. Let's ride every twist together.